It is Wednesday, May 22nd, and the Splash Zone is back in your life. I am Matt Modi, and I have two NBA bets for you guys to lock in for tomorrow's NBA betting slate. So I am recording this on Wednesday for Thursday's game. We're talking about game 2 between the Pacers and the Celtics. I'm going to have two plays for you guys in this game. One play on the main line, one play on a player prop. And I am recording this before the games for Wednesday, the one game I should say, Mavs Timberwolves has finished. So I don't have a recap from Wednesday for you guys. I do have a recap from Tuesday, which was unfortunately not our best day. So Tuesday was game 1 of this series. I had 3 plays in that game. I only got one of those 3 to cash. 1 and 2 on Tuesday, down 1.38 units. Was a pretty rough day as I had the Celtics to cover the spread. They won, they didn't cover. I had Al Horford under 17.5 points plus rebounds. He had an amazing game, attempting 12 three-pointers. Not even close there. I was able to cash out Jaylen Brown over 5.5 first quarter points, which was nice, but that was the only one that cashed. So 1 and 2 on Tuesday's games. That now brings our entire profit on the entire year down to about what it was at the end of the regular season. So we're up about 108 units on the season, which if you just look at 108 units of profit, yeah, that's incredible. But these playoffs have been very hit or miss. You know, we were up about 5 units at some point in these playoffs, and then the last couple days have been really rough. It just feels like every time we're about to go on a run, we have a couple down days in a row, and that's exactly what has happened. We were down last Friday, we were down last Sunday, and now we were down on Tuesday. So 3 of the past 4 NBA days we've been down. Hopefully that means regression in a positive way is coming our way for Wednesday's game. The 3 plays I have for the Mavericks versus Mavericks versus Timberwolves. I'm still used to saying Mavs Thunder. Got to adapt to the new series. And then hopefully these 2 plays for tomorrow also go well. If you are new to my channel, I would appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button. Also, while you're watching this video, if you could hit the like button, and then if you could comment. I love reading through the comments and replying to as many as I can. And then the last thing that I will mention before I get into the bangers is that I do have a dub club where I send out all of my plays. $5 a month gets you everything I'm playing across all sports, MLB, WNBA, NBA, and then for football season, all that stuff on the dub club. It is everything that I send out for free. So the $5 gets you everything that I play, but it is the same plays that I send out for free both on YouTube and on Twitter, with the benefit being you get them sent to you early. So as soon as I decide what a play is, the very, very first thing I do is send it out to my dub club. Because a lot of times, you know, by the time you are watching this video, the odds might be different. Unfortunately, by the time I record a video, edit it, and then post it, the odds change. Not much I can do about that. So my dub club was a way to combat that. As soon as I decide what a play is, the very first thing I do is send it out. So if you're interested in that, check it out, $5 a month. If not, no harm, no foul, totally fine with me. I just wanted to give people the option. That's enough of that. Let's get into tomorrow's bangers. Get 2 plays for the Pacers versus Celtics game. First play, I'm going back to the Celtics minus 8.5, minus 115 odds at BetMGM. Call me stubborn, whatever you want to call me. I'm going right back to the Celtics to cover the spread after getting burned by them in game 1. Now, I was wrong in game 1. I thought that the Celtics were going to come out and win comfortably over the Pacers. So I'm not going to say that was a bad beat. I'm not going to say, oh, you know, of course the Pacers are going to keep it close. No, I was wrong about that prediction. And maybe I am just sleeping on the Pacers. Maybe I'm not putting enough credit into the Pacers being good. You know, I wasn't really that high on them a ton in the Knicks series. But regardless, I'm very, very confident that the Celtics are going to be able to win and cover in game 2. Honestly, the game 1 of this series reminded me of game 1 of the Pacers-Knicks series. Now, the Pacers lost that game, a heartbreaking loss in game 1 of the Knicks series. They had a couple calls go against them from a reffing perspective, a couple plays that should not have been called by the refs that went against the Pacers. No, I'm not saying that's what happened in the Celtics game. I'm not saying that the refs helped the Celtics win. What I am saying is that the Pacers should have won game 1. They did not. They lost in just a horrible, gut-wrenching way. And then heading into game 2, I was on the Knicks spread in that game. I thought, you know, the Pacers played their best game in game 1. They had their shot and they lost. I think the Knicks come out and they win and cover pretty comfortably in game 2. Now, the Knicks didn't win comfortably, but they won that game by 9. I got them as 4.5-point favorites. That's kind of what I see happening in this game as well. And I do think that the Celtics have a ton of improvement, specifically on the defensive end, that can help them win and cover game 2. Their offense, I'm not worried about. They scored 117 points in regulation, another 16 points in overtime. That's a good enough offensive performance. I think they probably should be able to score a ton of points in this game. Now, I think they're going to score differently, and we'll get into that. But the biggest issues that the Celtics had was, of course, their fourth quarter offense. That's always a problem. But their bigger issue was their defense. They had a ton of issues defensively, and they specifically had a ton of issues guarding the pick and roll. They just got torched any coverage that they tried on the pick and roll. Now, yes, the Pacers are a great offensive team, like an historically good offensive team if you look at the regular season. But the Celtics just had so many bad possessions on the pick and roll where they gave up really easy buckets, which is not normally what you see from the Celtics. I think of one very, very specific play. They ran a pick and roll. Halliburton just waltzed into the rim for a very easy layup. And that was in the second half. That happened all the time, not necessarily waltzing to an easy bucket, but pick and rolls with the drop coverage that the Celtics just weren't prepared to guard, that I'm expecting to be different in game two. The Celtics were a phenomenal defensive team all year, good team defense, good individual defenders. I kind of expect the Celtics to come out and play better defensively. And that's where their biggest issue was, not on offense, but on defense. And I know there's people that are going to say, well, the Celtics have been bad in both game twos, these playoffs. The Celtics won and covered the game one of both playoffs. So if you're going to tell me that, yeah, they suck in game two, well, then they probably would have won and covered in game one if that mattered. So I don't really buy anything into that. I'm more so buying into the fact that their offense should be able to put up another 115, 120 points in regulation. And I think that their defense is going to be able to make adjustments. That's all these playoff series are, right? It's adjusting to whatever happened previously. And I think that there are some some adjustments that the Celtics can make to cover the pick and roll better in game two than they did in game one. So I think they win and cover the 8.5 point spread. That's our first play. Next up, obviously, we're sticking in the same game here. And I'm taking Jaylen Brown under 3.5 assists, -122 odds at DraftKings. So despite the fact that I am on the Celtics to win and cover this game, I know I'm saying win and cover a lot, but I'm on the Celtics in this game. This Jaylen Brown under 3.5 assists, I think, is an absolutely phenomenal play. Like, if you don't want to play both of the plays that I have, I actually would lean towards this Jaylen Brown one over the Celtics one. Now, I'm gonna track both plays. So I'm not saying don't take the Celtics, but if you're saying, hey, Matt, just choose one, it would actually be this Jaylen Brown play. So Jaylen Brown went over in game one. He had 5 assists. I watched all 5 of those assists, and it screams regression. Not only that, but he only had 7 potential assists. So a 5 assist to 7 potential assist conversion ratio, that also just screams regression. That's immediately something that I want to fade. And as I mentioned, I watch all 5 of those assists. I have a hard time seeing him get assists the same way in game 2 that he did in game 1. 4 of his 5 assists came off of a pretty easy catch and shoot opportunity where the defense clamped in, doubled Jaylen Brown, and he just kicked it out to a wide open shooter. It happened with Drew Holiday twice. It happened with Derek White twice. Now, his other assist that he had was just a defensive lapse by Tyrese Halliburton. Jaylen Brown had the ball with his back to the basket. Drew Holiday cut, and Tyrese Halliburton just didn't follow Drew Holiday. Very easy basket. You hope that teams aren't going to fall asleep on defense. But even if he gets maybe one of those a game, he's not going to have 4, in my opinion. He's not going to have 4 catch and shoot assists that he had in game 1. All season long, and this has continued into the playoffs, the Pacers just do not give up a lot of catch and shoot three-pointers, right? Their philosophy on defense, stick to shooters, don't let yourself get beat by the three-point line. Now, they got beat a ton by players going to the rim. That's how they lost, but it was not at the three-point line. In the regular season, the Pacers gave up 19.2 catch and shoot three-pointers per game. That was the lowest in the entire NBA. Now, if you want to sit here and tell me, hey, their defense is different in the playoffs, guess what? Not from a catch and shoot perspective. In the playoffs, the Pacers are allowing 19.6 catch and shoot three-point attempts per game. It's basically the same exact number. Now, if you want to sit here and tell me, well, Matt, the Celtics shoot a lot of three-pointers, so of course they're going to shoot more. Sure, yes, the Celtics do shoot a lot of three-pointers. In 5 regular season games, the Celtics attempted 21.6 catch and shoot three-pointers against the Pacers. That was in 5 games, a pretty big sample size. Yeah, that was more than the Pacers allowed on average, 19 to 21. But the Celtics attempted 28.3 catch and shoot three-pointers per game, and they were down to 21.6 in the regular season. In the playoffs, the Celtics are attempting 25 catch and shoot three-pointers per game. So everything that the Celtics did against the Pacers in the regular season was well below the amount of catch and shoot three-pointers that they take normally, and it was in line with how the Pacers played defense. Game 1, the Celtics attempted 29 catch and shoot three-pointers. Now, the Celtics are going to win and cover game 2. I don't think that they're going to do it by taking a bunch of three-pointers, especially catch and shoot three-pointers like they did in game 1. That's where 4 of 5 of Jaylen Brown's assists came from. Easy read, kick out opportunities when he got doubled that I just don't see happening again. And if you take that away from Jaylen Brown, he is not a high-level passer by any means. The only way that he's able to get assists is if Drew Holiday walks into the basket and Tyrese Halliburton doesn't follow him, or if he can just easily kick it out. It's just way too easy for Jaylen Brown, and I think the Pacers are going to clean that up. Again, Celtics cover game 2, not because they make a bunch of catch-and-shoot three-pointers. Jaylen Brown has only gone over 3.5 assists in 2 of 11 playoff games. In both games he went over happened to be the last 2 games that he played. He went over in game 5 against the Cavaliers, and then he went over in this past game 1 against the Pacers. That also just screams regression. If you look at the 5 regular season games that these two teams played, Jaylen Brown didn't go over 3.5 assists in any of those 5 games, and he never even got to 3 assists either. In the 5 games, the most assists that he had was 2. And then if you want to dive even more into the matchup, courtside pal list playmaking style, the Celtics literally gave up the fewest assists per game to Jaylen Brown's playmaking style because all he is able to do from an assist perspective is easy kick-out reads. Pacers generally don't give those up. So I think this is an amazing play, getting him to go under 3.5 assists. Very, very confident that he's going to come through, rounding out our 2 picks for the video. And that's all we got. Let's have a 2-0 day. Desperate in need of a 2-0 day. Again, would appreciate it if everybody could like the video, comment, subscribe. Check out the Dub Club if you are interested. Appreciate everybody for watching, and have a good one.